0-0. Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0. It just lacked that quality, didn't it? Final third, we progressed the ball up until that point and just was really, really flat today, and was lucky not to concede today, to be fair, but a chance right at the death as well for Marcus Rashford. But a 0-0 draw feels really flat.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, the only positive from it is, we didn't concede any goals, so you could say maybe the back four played well, but, first 20 minutes, very frantic. It was hard to maybe get into the game, both sides. A lot was happening, quite dynamic, but other than that final third where key decisions have to be made, nothing was really crisp, and there was no quality. I think all the key chances in that final third came to Fred, in my opinion, especially in the first half. I mean, there was opportunities for him to shoot. They're wide. He's driving with the ball, has opportunity to shoot, just making poor decisions, throughout the whole first half. Even in the second half had key moments, but I mean, that first half was really telling because, we just played the other day against OWEN and we couldn't build up and score chances that we were creating in the final third. I think Martinez played well, was keeping the ball very aggressive against Callum Wilson, playing through the thirds, kept the ball kind of well. At the back, I think in the first half they were playing all right.
It wasn't really the problem, was it? I mean, like you said, we've kept a clean sheet. They put a lot of balls into the box. We defended, but David De Gea wasn't making save after save, and they wasn't cleaning behind. They had the chance when Joe Linton hits the bar, then the post. That's very lucky from our point of view, from a set piece. But other than that, defensively it was okay, but it was just creatively and at the top end of the pitch.
Bruno not really, affecting the game. I really, I finished the first half finishes and I'm thinking I need Bruno to get the game by the scruff of the neck. I need Ronaldo to get the game by the scruff of the neck. Those are the two players that you're looking to maybe change our fortunes, but it just didn't happen. We were missing Eriksen. You could just tell in that build up, that quality. If Eriksen was at the end of all the chances that Fred had, something happens, just that bit of quality. I think Anthony played well in spurts, against Dan Burn. Just he had the spark in the team in the first half, but we go in second half and it just looked dull. It just,
there wasn't a reaction, was there? There wasn't like we went up levels at second half.
They came here for a draw and they done exactly what they needed to do. As Joe Linton was on the floor for minutes in the first half. Trippier was on the Botman. They just broke up the momentum when we tried to. Anything good for United just got halted by a foul and they would be on the floor and it would be frustrating. And they came for a draw. Second half comes along now and Ten Hag had to make a change. Ronaldo just wasn't giving us what Rashford does give us.
Do you think Rashford should have started?
Yeah, 100%. I've been saying it. Rashford should have started, and you could see why. Just adamant to make line-breaking runs, and he gets two opportunities. Cut back for Fred, and Fred's got to finish that. Why not use your right foot?
I haven't even seen it back yet, but from my seat, it just looked like he had to score. I hope I'm right in saying that. I'm not being too harsh. I haven't seen it back yet, but it just looked like he had to score.
I'm at the east stand and I can see it clearly. Just use your right foot. I'm right in front of it.
That's all it was. He just had to
just tap it with your right foot, but he's opened up the body a bit too much, and it's missed. But we had two goal gaping opportunities. Rashford should have scored at the end, man. Rashford should have scored at the end. I can't even blame Sancho's game too much. Yes, a lot of cutbacks, but there was opportunities coming from this kind of stuff that he was doing today. I just feel like that final third, we've got an issue. If against OWEN in the Europa League, now in the Premier League, we're not scoring, we're not finishing these chances.
And just in general, if you think about the game, I think it's only Arsenal we've won by 2 goals. That was 3-1. We're not high scoring, are we? 2-1 against Everton, 1-0 against Ammonia, 3-2 the week before against Ammonia, 0-0 here. 1-0 away at Southampton, 1-0 away at Leicester. Grinding out results, but when you don't score, this is what happens. You're going to get. Well, it's our first draw of the season, to be fair, but this can happen.
Listen. It's a good team spirit. There was fight there. When mistakes were being made, players were recovering for each other. It wasn't a capitulation. There's some spine there, and this is phase 1 of Ten Hag football. So you're gonna get results like this from time to time. But our good consistency has earned us to feel like this, and it's at home as well. We should brush these, but it just wasn't there today. Casemiro played well. I think he came in there.
I think he's starting to just cement himself today, or do you think there was an element of Scott McTominay missing today that could have helped us today with his size and presence, or do you think no, Casemiro's slowly starting to just that's becoming his position now? Yeah,
for that role I think that's looking like more and more his now, and he's making good decisions. I think Scott would have been missed where Fred was. I just think anyone else should have. Why wasn't Zidane playing? Why Ten Hag's only made one sub, but why not put Zidane in where Fred was? I don't understand that. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You just needed that composure and that quality in the final third, and that wasn't there at all from any of our players. Delo, I think, had a few mistakes in his game in the first half, but that second half, just have the shot. You know, you've broken the lines, you've dribbled, you've been confident. I've seen you score that kind of goal against for Portugal. Just take the shot on. You know, players just. I feel like we were just passing for days and days. You know, in front of their back four, with no penetration. No one wants to take on anyone enough. Or when there's a pass going, take the big touch in front of the defender and go with the football. But then we'll just take our time, dilly-dally on the ball. There's no killer instinct there at the moment, and it's quite frustrating to see, man. It's very frustrating to see.
How important is it for us? You know, like you said, there it's phase one of Ten Hag's football. We are going to see that.
Yeah.
You know, how important is it to remember that? You know, as frustrating as it is, it kind of down a little bit, 0-0. You could have lost, but we didn't, but we could have scored, but we didn't. You know, it just feels quite flat. How important is it to kind of remember that as fans?
100%. It's early stages. We have to consider that the minute you lose at the quality of like an Eriksen, the drop off. Yeah, the drop off is so massive. You know, and then imagine if we was to lose Martinez, we haven't got a proper Ten Hag squad flex right now. So we've got to look into January now, and the games are becoming thick and fast. They're every 3 days. We've got another one on Wednesday, man. Tottenham
and look, for all of Tottenham's, you know, the way they play and stuff like that, they've had their best start to the Premier League season. Yeah. You know, they've only lost one game. They're going to come here and be similar to Newcastle, but more devastating on the counter-attack because we know what they've got to offer. But in terms of having to break them down, it's going to be similar.
Oh, my days. And he's set up for that. That's his style of football.
That is the context.
And they're going to be more clinical. We have to put away our chances. If we don't put away our chances, they're going to have opportunities to score, and they're most likely to score them. So, you know, there's things to worry about, but overall, it's very, very early stages. I don't think we've played 10 games in the Premier League yet. So we have to put that into consideration. And we've gone through majority of the top 6. So we've had difficult games. At some stage, we should get a nicer spell of fixtures and hopefully we can better these results.
Bit of a weird game to ask it, but, you know, we didn't lose, so we have to ask the question, man of the match.
I would say Martinez, you know, 0-0. So when you have a clean sheet, you know, it has to be someone in the back line that's done very well. The forward line wasn't good today. The midfield line, underwhelming extremely. I think Martinez was good. It's just so consistent right now. Every single game he's playing very consistent. Defensively, winning his headers, causing attackers problems, and good passes through the line. So, man of the match for him.
Cool, man.